Why most people fail system design interviews. Hey everyone, I'm KB and today we are talking about one of the biggest hurdles in tech interviews system design. Now, here's the truth most people fail system design interviews not because they are bad engineers, but because they don't know how to approach the problem. See, unlike coding interviews where the question is clear and you just have to solve it, system design interviews are vague. You are asked to design system like Twitter, YouTube, or payment system, and suddenly you are lost. You don't know where to start, what to clarify, or what the interviewer really expects. And that's where most candidates panic, mumble through their answers, and end up underperforming. But here's the good news. Once you learn a simple framework, a step by step way to approach any system design question, you will never feel lost again. You will be confident, structured, and in control of the discussion. Now, I have given and taken hundreds of system design interviews, and in this video, I will walk you through exactly how to approach them, what mistakes to avoid, and how to impress your interviewer with clarity and confidence. So, stick around till then because if you want to crack your next system design interview, this framework will be your cheat code. So, step number one, clarify the problem. So, this should be your first and foremost step. You should always ask questions. So, suppose you're given a problem to design an Instagram application. Now, instead of directly jumping into solutions, talking about entities, APIs, your server layer, your database, all those things, you should always clarify the problem, ask questions. Are we building the whole app or just a photo sharing? Are we focusing on millions of users or just a basic flow? So, clarifying scope shows the maturity. It shows that you really think like an engineer. So, define features and requirements. Separate your functional requirements like uploading or commenting from non functional ones like high availability or low latency. So, this alignment avoids surprises later on. So what people do, they just directly jump into solution. They don't clarify requirement, and once they start building, now interviewer is expecting something else. So they end up making a mess. Moving ahead, step number two is to estimate the scale. So even rough numbers help. So let's say on your Instagram there are 10 million users, 5% of which are active on daily basis. So that's somewhere around 500k daily active users. Now let's suppose on an average 100 requests are made by per user, every user. So that's 50 million requests per day, which comes around 600 requests per second. So these numbers influences the design choices, the throughput, the database size that you're going to need. So these tells you about how you're going to scale your system, what should be the choice of database, and how much should be the size of database, and all those things. Moving ahead, next step is to define your design goals. So basically, every system trades between consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. For example, social feeds usually favor availability, so the system should still work even if the data isn't instantly consistent. So once you're done with that, your next step is high level design skeleton. So start with client, your API gateways, your server layer, database, cache, or maybe add messaging queue based on your application and requirement. So the big picture helps the interviewer see your thought process before you dive into details. So once you are done with your skeleton design, your next step is to dive deeper into one of the components. So maybe you can choose a database, or you can talk about your caching strategies, or you can talk about your sharding method or anything. So my suggestion here is to maybe ask with your interviewer what they would want you to dive deeper into. So they might want to discuss the load balancing layer, or they might want to discuss the database layer. So Another thing is, let's suppose you're more confident into your database layer, you're more confident with how you will shard and how will scale, what databases choices you want to you should take. So in that case, what you can do, you can suggest your interviewer that should I go deeper into database layer or should I go deeper into load balancing layer based on your comfort zone. So in that way, what you will do is basically you will drive the interviewer in the direction of the component where you feel stronger, where you feel more confident. So the framework is simple. You should clarify your requirements, what features you're going to build. You should talk about your scale, and then you should talk about your design goals. Once you're done with that, you should design a skeleton, and after that, you should deep dive into one of the components or maybe two. So now let's talk about how much time you should spend in each steps. So talking about features, getting clarity on what requirement needs to build, this should not take more than 2 minutes. The estimates will take you approximately 5 minutes. The goals, design goals, it also shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Now, designing a skeleton, since you're just doing putting all the components, this should also not take more than 5 minutes. So this comes around 17 minutes. So let's roughly say 20 minutes. After that, this is the main component. This is where most of the discussion happens. So this will take roughly 20 to 30 minutes. So overall, this will take somewhere around 40 to 50 minutes. Easy peasy. After that, most of the interviews are like 1 hour long, so you will be left with good 10 minutes for initial introduction or final questions. Perfect. So now you have the framework. In my next video, I will apply this step by step to a real world example. And so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you so much.